Steve, there's a media beef going on between Bill Simmons and Pablo Torre. Pablo's been getting a lot of attention for his insight and reporting around Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick's 24-year-old fiance or girlfriend. He's getting a lot of attention around that, Pablo is, for his reporting. And Bill Simmons, a lifelong Patriots fan, I'm sure has some sort of relationship with Bill Belichick, seems to have gotten a little defensive about it. Let's play the clip of Bill Simmons talking about Pablo Torre. And this is in the middle of an interview that really had nothing to do with Pablo Torre. Bill was making an analogy, and he takes a shot at Pablo Torre. Let's play the clip.
Pablo Torre would have done a long podcast about Leo Farnsworth trying to practice with the team and then done a media tour about it afterwards.
Guy, bro.
I've never seen anybody dying on the stupider story for a week and a half while pretending you're a journalist. What the fuck was that?
Whoa!
Seriously.
What the
Oh, Belichick's dating a girl. Oh, let me do 9 shows about it.
I can't tell. Are you
settle the down?
If this was about Jeffrey Lurie, though, would you be like, we got to get Pablo Torre on my
That's thing, right? Like, why are you getting at him?
All right, you don't need to do a media tour
It was
about
a story that
podcast.
everybody was talking
That's
about,
fine.
to be fair.
Maybe do 2 shows about it.
All right, so that's Bill taking a shot at Pablo Torre. Here's Pablo Torre responding over Twitter. Dear @Bill Simmons, since you have such a strong public opinion about my work, I happen to have a few questions for you specifically. Unless you're afraid of Pablo finds out and someone just pretending to be a journalist, of course, thanks, Pablo. That appears to be Pablo inviting Bill Simmons to come on his show and to talk about it, which would be good for Pablo's show. And so Bill Simmons may respond like, here you are dining again on this story. But anyway, Steve, your thoughts, whose side you on here in this feud?
All right. There is no crouching tiger bias here. You know I've had my criticisms of Pablo Torre and his politics and all. I don't get the criticism. Jason, this is a story. This has been very public. Ms. Jordan, what's-her-face, has not just been a partner. She's been made part of the UNC football staff. She's interjected herself in other parts of Bill Belichick's professional and commercial life. It is a story. Everyone is talking about it, okay? She's made herself very much seen. She's not just in the background. And Jason, you know this as a nationally renowned sports columnist in another life. When you would write a story, and before there was such thing as going viral, there was a buzz, such as your 2007 NBA All-Star Game column. You didn't call Oprah to be on it. You didn't put out a press release saying, hey, I'm going on tour. Didn't these outlets reach out to you, Jason? Am I wrong in this?
No. Yes, they did.
And so it's obvious to me, and I've become a very big fan of 98.5 Boston Sports Radio with Felger and Scott Zolak. This is a big deal to them. Pablo Torre is not just calling in on the regular line saying, hey, guys, I'm Pablo Torre. I'd like to. No. They are dedicating full segments to him because people care about it. So, Bill, you don't have to like it. I get it. You're a Boston guy. You're the guardian of all things New England. I get it. But it is a story, and people care about it. And I congratulate Pablo for the work he's done.
Let me play the other side, and not that I'm on Bill Simmons' side here, but I just want to give you some pushback. They're in a podcast talking about something completely unrelated to Bill Belichick. And I think it's about some TV show or movie, actually. It has nothing to do with Bill Belichick. And in the middle of some hour-long podcast, Bill Simmons does 90 seconds, a little bit of comedy, making fun of Pablo Torre. It's not like the podcast was about, here's Bill Simmons going after Pablo Torre. I do know the Bill Simmons, they pushed out over social media the clip of Bill attacking Pablo Torre, but it's just a passing shot, kind of harmless in my view. Then you have to take into effect, this is a Patriots super fan,
right,
who definitely has a relationship with Michael Lombardi, who used to work for Bill with the Patriots and now works with him at at North Carolina. So it shouldn't be all that surprising that Bill Simmons is on Team Belichick as it relates, and he wants less conversation about Jordan Hudson and Bill's sex life, personal life. So I just kind of take it as, hey, it's a little shot. People take shots, let it go. But now, having heard all of that, what do you say, Steve?
Well, I don't disagree, but I also think there's a part of it where Bill Simmons believes, look, Boston is my territory. I own that space. And maybe I don't want to say threatened because he's not really threatened, but maybe he's like, wait a minute, why is Pablo getting all this shine? I mean, Pablo's become a pretty significant name in that area based on the reporting that he has done. Also, another thing that I really figured out, and I didn't know this beforehand, I thought Bill Belichick was almost untouchable because of the 20-year run that he had. All those Super Bowls alongside Tom Brady. Jason, there is a lot of resentment from the media over the way he coached and handled the player personnel GM duties the last 3 years. I'm just telling you, I was surprised by it. There's no grace. They think Bill packed it in the last 3 years. These guys are incredibly critical of what went on from, let's say, the last year of Belichick to the last year of Tom Brady. So that's between 2020 to 2022, 23. So it's a story. And I do wonder, and there's no doubt, he's a Patriot super fan. He has relationships with people. However, putting all of that aside, that does not mean no one else should talk about it just because you don't like it.
I 1,000% agree with you that I tend to think, based off what you're hearing from Boston radio and what people very close are saying, like, how did this happen? How did the Patriots go from the best dynasty football team we've ever seen in Bill Belichick to hot garbage once Tom Brady left? And it can't just be, well, Tom Brady left and that explains everything. I think there are people that are saying, like, Belichick kind of packed it in once he fell in love with a 21-year-old. And he's let his smallest head drive his legacy in coaching right off a cliff. I think people believe that, and that's worthy of discussion, and it's why Pablo Torre's reporting, I think, is important, and I'm on Pablo's side. The last layer to this, Steve, and I'm going to let you in here in a second, TJ, but the last layer to this, Steve, that I want you to think about, and you'll be like, yes, you're right. Bill Simmons and Dan Le Batard, these are frenemies. These are people that on the surface pretend to have some respect and communicate with each other, but it's my belief they're actually hyper-competitive with each other. They are kind of similar, and keep Bill Simmons is my favorite sports columnist of all time. I'm not sure if anybody in the sports, maybe Bob, I don't want to say his last name, I don't want to get him in trouble, but Dan Le Batard was my best friend in the sports media business for a long time. And so I know both of these guys, know Dan the best, but I know both of these guys well, and they are more alike. They competed over who was going to have the most influence over John Skipper. And so I see this Meadowlark Media, Dan Le Batard and Pablo Torre and Bill Simmons and The Ringer as like Dan Le Batard's organization with this Bill Belichick is having some success with a topic that is in Bill Simmons' wheelhouse, and there's a little competitive jealousy here.